How about now? Excellent. Hello, everyone. My name is Myokan Weinhardt, and I'm a Dharma holder with the Empty Moon Zen Sangha. Please sit comfortably and remain in your practice. We walk this path together, you and I, wandering, exploring, stumbling, finding our way through the 10,000 grasses. We live in this world of form, dream, and stories, coming and going through the world of samsara. We strive to awaken within this sea of delusion. To be more precise, we strive to awaken to delusion itself, to our own dukkha and tanha, the undeniable unsatisfactoriness and craving that define our biology and so readily drive our behavior, knowing that there's no way out. This is where we meet each other. As our community begins this new season of precept study and Jukai preparation here at Empty Moon, I've been thinking a lot about what it means to navigate this terrain together. What does it mean to take up the ethical framework of the precepts, to commit to a vow, and to show up for each other? Not as perfect beings, but as flawed, messy companions in the mist. As spiritual friends in this beautiful, complicated labyrinth, we often weave in front or behind each other. Sometimes we follow different trails through the grasses, losing sight of one another. Down the road, our paths may cross again, or they might not. But when we're lucky, we get to walk side by side, which is what I like best. All of us striving to awaken, studying the great mystery, and trying not to pass our days and nights in vain. There's a poem called A Medicine Woman's Prayer that points to this beautifully. The author is unknown, but this is how it goes. I will not rescue you, for you are not powerless. I will not fix you, for you are not broken. I will not heal you, for I see you in your wholeness. I will walk with you through the darkness as you remember your light. This understanding of love, compassion, and what it means to genuinely help someone reminds me of a story about Layman Pang, a legendary Zen master and householder from the 8th century. So the story goes, Layman Pang and his daughter, Ling Zhao, were out traveling the road. They were selling bamboo baskets to make a living. And one day, coming down off of a bridge, the layman stumbled and fell heavily to the ground. When Ling Zhao saw this, she didn't run over to pull him up. Instead, she ran to her father's side and immediately threw herself flat on the ground right next to him. "What in the world are you doing?" cried the layman, looking at her. "Well, I saw you fall to the ground, so I'm helping," she replied. The layman looked at her, laughed, and said, "Well, luckily no one was looking." It's really easy to conflate helping with swooping in like a savior and solving someone else's problem. But that's not what Ling Xiao does. Instead, recognizing that her father doesn't need to be rescued or fixed, she meets him exactly where he is and lies flat on the ground next to him. And there's Layman Pang laughing sincerely and joking. Luckily, no one was looking. Of course, people were looking. And even if they weren't looking, it doesn't matter. Embarrassment is. And Layman Pang completely owns his embarrassment, his normal human clumsiness, and just the sheer absurdity of the moment. It's a commitment to absolute intimacy with the situation. And we are all spiritual friends here, walking the Buddha way. and sometimes we rub hard up against each other, causing friction and frustration. But like stones in a rock tumbler, this is exactly what helps us examine our attachments and motivations, providing ample opportunities to smooth out our rough edges. As Toranji says, it's best to bow down. This is the Buddha appearing to us, finding ways to free us from our own attachments, the very ones that have made us suffer again and again and again. That's the beauty of Sangha. That's the beauty of spiritual friendship. It's not meant to be easy. It's meant to be honest and sincere. Countless mirrors that help us see ourselves more clearly. Sangha is also where we can look to each other for guidance, for support, for courage, for refuge, for companions to walk with through the darkness as we remember our light. That's why it's good to reflect and take stock from time to time. What kind of companions do you keep and invite in? What kind of companion are you for others along the dark and broken roads? How do you meet your practice honestly, authentically? What is the ground on which you stand? Ananda, the Buddha's attendant, once came to him and said, Lord, I think that spiritual friendship and companionship is half of the holy life. And he meant that as a great compliment. But the Buddha immediately corrected him. No, Ananda, spiritual companionship isn't half of the holy life. It is the whole of the holy life. And this is what it means to be a bodhisattva. The word bodhisattva comes from Sanskrit, meaning awakened being. In the Mahayana and Zen traditions, a bodhisattva is someone who moves away from the pursuit of private individual awakening because they realize that any separate or personal nirvana is an illusion. Instead, realizing that we're all intimately in this together, they vow to attain Buddhahood, extinguishing the fires of greed, hatred, and ignorance for the sole purpose of liberating all sentient beings from suffering. The Bodhisattva looks at this boundary between self and other and realizes this illusion of separation, realizes the deep, intimate interconnectedness that we share with all beings, realizes that this universe itself is one seamless body. This is why every single day in temples and Zen centers around the world, practitioners chant the four Bodhisattva vows. Beings are numberless. I vow to free them. Delusions are inexhaustible. I vow to end them. Dharma gates are boundless. I vow to enter them. The Buddha way is unsurpassable. I vow to embody it. Chanting this affirms our commitment again and again to remembering exactly this, that we are one absolute, interdependent, ever-changing body. That ants and trees and stars and we ourselves are all different shapes cut from the same cookie dough. And to this boundless cookie dough we shall return. And yet, these four bodhisattva vows are seemingly impossible. They're cosmic paradoxes designed to break the small mind, designed to reshape and infinitely expand this container of I. When divisions of self and other fall away, who is this I that vows to free all beings, to end all delusions, to walk through the myriad Dharma gates, to embody the Buddha way? Who is this I that vows? Who is this I? In the West, our cultural understanding of a vow is heavily skewed towards what we mean by a promise. We tend to treat it more like a contract. You sign on the dotted line in front of witnesses. You commit to always keeping this promise no matter what. You double, triple pinky swear. And if you break the promise, that's it. It's broken. You're in breach of contract, and you will be held accountable and punished for your failure. It can have a real all or nothing flavor to it. And to be clear, there's nothing wrong with expecting others and ourselves to keep our promises, to uphold and follow through on our commitments. In Zen, however, taking a vow, like the Bodhisattva vows or the precepts, is completely different. It's not some rigid, keep this promise come hell or high water, or you're going to be punished sort of situation. These are not sticks to beat ourselves with. In the Zen context, taking a vow is setting the compass of your intentions. It's setting the compass of your heart. By definition, in the world of form, the bodhisattva vows are impossible to fulfill. They're these infinite tasks that can never be achieved by mere individuals. I mean, come on, free all beings? I can't even free myself from craving coffee every morning. How the hell am I going to free all beings? There's no way to avoid falling short here. And from this point of view, the idea of taking vows at all is kind of crazy. And yet, taking vows in the Zen way is a radical act of humility. It's a commitment to step outside of our narrow personal desires and live from the truth that we are one seamless body. It's consciously entering into a relationship with unattainable aspirations that will, with absolute certainty, break your small ego every single day. These vows are shining, guiding stars that influence our actions and behavior. But us, we're just flesh and blood human beings wandering through the 10,000 grasses. The vast distance between us and these guiding stars isn't a sign of failure. This is the space where practice actually happens. Vows are our commitment to return, to remember our guiding stars again and again. In fact, I would say that a vow only really exists the moment we realize we've forgotten it, because it's in that act of catching ourselves, realizing that we've forgotten and pivoting back to awareness that the vow is renewed. So much about our practice just comes down to remembering to breathe, to notice those beats between a knee-jerk reaction and a more intentional response. Remembering to adjust one's posture, which I'll do right now, to be aware not just of what we say, but of how we say it. To recognize when our physical or emotional selves need care of some kind. To slow down and connect with the visceral experience of this present moment, outside of the endless narratives and whirlpools of thought. Remembering to see through our habit energy, our fears, our anxieties, as the empty mind bubbles that they are, so they don't end up controlling us from the shadows. Remembering to intentionally practice compassion, whatever that might look like in the moment, even if we aren't feeling very compassionate. The point is, vows are not static states of purity, just like a bodhisattva is not a title of perfection. Whether we like it or not, we're all people who get angry, tired, who lose ourselves to ignorance, who slip into old habit energy and have blind spots. We all fuck up and cause harm, sometimes even when we're trying really hard not to. There is no escape from this, but there is freedom within it. What makes a bodhisattva is not that they never fall down. It's that the moment they realize they've fallen, they pick themselves up and rededicate to the well-being of the whole. What makes a vow isn't keeping it perfectly or keeping a ledger of transgressions to judge someone's worth or value. It's an act of surrender, atonement, or at one-ment, aligning with these guiding stars again and again every time we remember. In truth, we don't carry our vows. Our vows carry us. And later this year, some members of our Empty Moon Sangha will step forward to make this invisible compass visible by taking the precepts. Some of you are choosing to take the first 5 precepts and so a wagesa. This is vowing to live an ethical life and committing to your own practice in front of our community. Others, who are called to a more formal commitment to the Zen path, are choosing to take the full 16 Bodhisattva precepts through the Jukai ceremony, sowing Araksu and fully entering the stream of the Empty Moon lineage. Both of these paths require a deep commitment to study, Sangha, Zazen, and practice throughout our lives. But for those who feel called to take the full 16 Bodhisattva precepts, the path goes a bit further. Jukai is a process of deep personal discernment. It's a confirmation of your desire to practice earnestly within this specific lineage and community, fully stepping into the Buddha's family. To do this, students must ask one of our Empty Moon teachers directly for the precepts and to be their preceptor, formally entering the stream of the lineage. This relationship becomes a pledge of guidance, training, and mutual responsibility, where the teacher commits to helping that student reflect, prepare, and shine a light on unseen habits along the way. While many choose to take the first 5 precepts before making this leap, it's not a prerequisite. Your personal discernment of vow is entirely your own. Whether taking the 5 or the 16, one path is not greater than another. It's just a deeply personal choice to be discussed with teachers as is helpful. And as a community, we lovingly embrace and celebrate both. No matter what, we are companions walking side by side. And regardless of the chosen path, this is a great act of humility and surrender. As our friends publicly align with the compass of their hearts with these vows, with these guiding stars, remember, they're looking to all of us in the Sangha and humbly asking, please help me practice. Help me see my blind spots. Walk through the grass and the mist with me. So much comes back to remembering, but we are all incredibly forgetful. It's easy, and I dare say habitual, to completely fall asleep at the wheel of consciousness. The ancient Zen master Ryan knew this all too well. And as described in The Gateless Gate, I offer you the koan of Case 12. Ryan calls Master. So this is how it goes. Every day, Master Ryan would call out to himself, Master, and then answer himself, yes. And then he would say, be aware, and reply, yes. Never be deceived by others. No, no. I just love this. It's such a hilarious way to remember and also completely serious. In calling out, Rion isn't talking to the self of his ego. He's intentionally calling out to his own true nature. We all need a version of Ruyan's shout to snap us out of our narratives, out of our perpetually busy, rushing, planning, worrying, time traveling brain bananas, to bring us back to awareness. Physical anchors are also especially effective at helping us remember, like wearing a mala, placing small statues or pictures around, setting a mindful minute alarm every day, like Bernie Glassman Roshi used to do, or even putting sticky notes for ourselves on the bathroom mirror. There are a million creative ways that we can leave breadcrumbs for ourselves, helping us find our way through the 10,000 grasses of chaotic, consuming everyday life and back to practice, presence, intimacy, back to the compass of our hearts. Because the truth is, we are going to fall down. We are going to cause harm and fall short of our vows. We are going to forget and lose sight of our guiding stars. And inevitably, we will find ourselves flat on our faces in the mud of our own karmic habit energies. But from down here in the mud and the dirt, we'll also remember who we are. We'll remember the boundless cookie dough that connects us all. And when we look to our left or look to our right, we'll see our companions running over, not to rescue us or fix us, but to throw themselves down alongside us, to walk with us through the darkness as we remember our light. Later this year, when our friends step forward to sew their garments and take their vows, they are inviting us into that dirt. They're asking us to help them remember. So let's make sure to leave ourselves breadcrumbs, to expand this container of I, to call out, Master, be aware. Yes. And whenever we inevitably find ourselves sitting in the dirt together after a fall, looking up at our guiding stars, let's make damn sure we laugh from the bottom of our bellies, embracing the intimacy of those embarrassing moments, as well as the spiritual friends who help us appreciate our imperfections. And above all, let's make sure to let our vows carry us. Thank you, Bodhisattvas.